Check. Let's turn off the delay. Reverb. Test 1, 2. This is wild. Can anyone hear me? Let me know if the mic is on. Oh, I'm good. Breakfast. What's up, my friend? All right. What did I have for breakfast? Man, the same thing. It's the same thing every day. Today was eggs, mushrooms, spinach, toast, cottage cheese, avocado. Holy sins. Gray Fox, thank you. Appreciate you. Man. So I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. I've just been, too chicken to record vocals live in front of people. It's weird. I feel like there's an intimacy. Yeah, I know, right? It's a good shirt. But recording vocals can be, you want to have like a safe place to try stuff where it might not work out, but you know that no one's going to hear it until you're happy with it. Versus something like this, it kind of makes it into a performative thing. But I want to try it, so I think it'll be cool. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I will chill for just a little bit, see if any more people show up. But this is the track that I am working on right now, what you've been hearing. Let me see if I switch. Can you guys see the screen now? Or if I do this one? Yeah. All right, yeah, so this one, we've got another track courtesy of Derek Blevins. This is a really cool, moody, kind of trip-hop one. And it's pretty much going to be all singing. It is kind of similar to the last one. It's very much, like a song that's more about the vibe rather than like any sort of like big hooks or, big intense moments or anything like that. It's more about setting a mood, setting an atmosphere. And I just started tracking it. I've only been, I was singing for maybe, 30 minutes before going live just because I was just kind of warming up and wanted to sing through a couple of my ideas and make sure that they generally sort of work just before jumping into a live stream. But so what I think I'll do is the only audio control I have right now is I have everything that's going to my headphones is going to y'all. So what I hear, you hear. So you may have to bear with me as I tweak my headphone mix for what I like, but hopefully I can keep it where it sounds good for everybody. So I'm going to pause the track now. Okay. And if I zoom out. Oh, wait, I wonder if you can see the overlay. Oh, there's the chat overlay. Oh, that's right. I forgot I have this. Is it? Nope, that's that. Oh, that's weird. So I guess you can see this. You're supposed to not be able to see the chat because that's what this program is supposed to do, where I can see it, but you can't see it. But now you can see it. So I don't know what I did wrong. I'll go back to this one. I guess it doesn't matter. You can see it. There's like, 10 of us here. We all know. We are going to get to know each other. It's cool. So let's go. I'll play you from the top of the track so you can hear, you can hear it. You can kind of get into the zone. And then I'll show you some of these early takes that I've just done down here. And then we'll start recording some stuff because I'm eager to get back to singing. But it's a super simple track. It's got a little fade-in intro, and then it just goes verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Simple as traditional as can be. So we'll play from the beginning here and just kind of let people get into the headspace of the song, right? So let's just start at the top. Actually, I'll give you the full fade in here. can hear it okay. So here's the chorus right here. And then verse 2. Yeah, I sort of have lyrics at the moment, yeah. And yes, it's guitar. And then chorus number 2 right here. Okay, I'll stop there because then we go to the bridge and then the chorus repeats. Yeah, it is guitar. It has like a super tinny, kind of, I don't want to say a bad tone, but it's kind of that way on purpose of like being this weird, kind of like thin, brassy sort of tone. And with the kind of dissonant chord against the beat, I think it sounds really cool. But yeah, Derek did a great job on this one, and my brother also did some work on the percussion, so you can hear there's like some interesting drum sample choices, and there's like some cool percussive beats and stuff extra to a drum kit. So I think it's a cool blend of this, you know, kind of like the moody, dark guitar chords, but then it's got like a trip hop backbeat to it. So Nickel, hey. Yes, welcome. Yeah, I had posted the story before I clicked go live, so that's why there was a delay there. But we're live now, baby. There's a super slight noise coming from somewhere. I think mic feedback sounds like a snore. I hope not. There's like some white noise in my headphones just because I'm doing like a very interesting send and receive to get the audio into OBS. Yeah, there's like a shh. Yeah, that's just in here. I guess I can mute a couple effects and maybe that'll go away. But hopefully once we're in the tracking process, that won't bother us. So yeah, man, thank you. Glad to have you here. So I was just playing the track, just the instrumental, just to kind of see what the vibe is. But let's go see what some of these vocals are that I got down here. What I was in the middle of doing is I was tracking some harmony bits to this first verse melody. So the first verse melody is like in a really lower register, which was a little weird for me to sing and like try to have it be full. But when it comes around the second verse, I'm gonna sing it an octave up, so I think it'll make more sense. But anyways, I'm trying to play with this. The green one right here is our melody, and the blue one is our harmony. So I'll just play it for you, and we'll see what we're going with here.
Lethal guardians, bound decay, angels sweating out the pain, people every gain, the
Okay, so there's oh shit. Turn this off. Hold on. So there's pitch, all sorts of stuff in this, right? This is first time getting it down. But there is a note that we're going for with this harmony that complements the guitar, and I think it's helping the part. And it's kind of a monotone harmony where I learned this from Fred. He did the last My Ticket Home record of like, you can do a harmony where you're just hitting one note consistently over and over and over while the melody's like going up and down. And I thought it sounded really cool. So I'm trying to capture that sort of same thing right here. So I'm gonna try a couple more of these, and I'm still figuring out exactly what the notes should be. Personally, harmonies are like a massive weak point for me. They don't come naturally to me. I have to think about them. So we're starting in the deep end, but that's okay. We'll just we'll sing some stuff and see how it starts to feel. So I'm gonna turn my delay on. Yes. Okay, here we go. In a second. Now here we go. Okay, so in this one, I'm trying to follow the melody exactly, right? It's a harmony on the entire thing. I don't know if I'll use the whole thing, because maybe it's too much. But I'm going to track the whole thing, and then when we go to the editing phase, maybe we can mute sections of it, we'll see. So I'm just going to do a couple more, just so we have takes to choose from, and then we'll go to the chorus. One more, and we'll move on. Sweet. Okay. So something that I'm kind of thinking in the back of my mind while I'm doing it is I'm trying to sing the harmony a little bit more, not robotic, but like a little bit more static, because I know I'm going to stack this with this lead vocal, And if you're going to harmonize the whole thing, there's like, I think that the performance can help it blend into the background a bit. Like, I don't want it to take over the lower one because I think the lower one is the cooler melody. So I'm just thinking about like the performance of like not putting too much breath and like crazy enunciation and like just trying to like pull it back a little bit and sing it just a little bit flatter so it's like it's just automatic, you know? It doesn't pull your ear away as much. So hopefully that's sounding good. We'll see. Let's listen to it. Okay, cool. There's... Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading the chat. Reminds me of that Voodoo track, Godsmack. I don't think I know the one you're talking about. I haven't listened to Godsmack in a long time. But they have some cool melody choices that guy uses. So I could see what you're talking about. Yeah, what's the name? I'll check it out. But yeah, there's definitely pitch stuff that I'm hearing in this. But like I said, these are just, you know, raw takes, so I'm fine with that, especially for what we have now. I definitely think that they are close enough. So let's go to the chorus here. There's like a small vocal I think I'll put in the pre-chorus bit, but I'm pretty much just gonna skip to the chorus. Godsmack Voodoo. Oh wait, is that the Voodoo and Moon Baby are probably my faves. Oh, is Voodoo the one where like they literally sing the word voodoo like 1,000,000 times? It's like on a loop almost. 'Cause I think I know the song. If that's the one. They definitely have some good shit though. I haven't listened to them in a long time. All right, let's see what this chorus melody is feeling like. I can't remember, but there's similar percussion to this track. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll have to check that one out because I haven't gone back to Godsmack in a minute, man. Maybe maybe that would be fun to like revisit, hear some of that stuff again. My dad liked them a lot when I was younger. All right, let's hear what cool. Let's get some better takes of that guy. Oops, wrong track. There we go. I think so. Has some type of conjuring in the beginning. Last time I listened to Godsmack, I was wearing Tap Out in middle school. That sounds on brand for Godsmack at the time. Let me just get into singing this a couple times.
I
here that time. Let's see if
The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. But it comes with
Okay, so it's the start that I think is bothering me the most. And I think it might be the lyrics for me. So like when it comes in, it says the angles realign. For some reason that dun 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 dun, like I'm just not, I don't feel like it's starting well. So maybe I'll change that lyric. Let's see.
the angles realign.
Okay, let's try play with some words here. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Nickel. I appreciate that. Trying to figure out the start. It's the start of this chorus that I'm not loving 100%. So let's keep singing a couple more times. Let's play with some lyrics here. Fuck. Stop. Oh shit. Let's go big screen. What am I doing here?
Angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the The anchors realign.
Anchors? I think it's the. Let's do these.
The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the
Okay.
The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice.
You're welcome, brother. Okay, so there was one bad note in that take, but I think I'm gonna keep the lyrics and just sing it better. And thank you, Breakfast. I'm glad it is starting the week off for you. Wait, isn't it Friday? Okay, whatever it is. Glad you're here.
The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Cool, that one felt better.
The angles realign.
It's just that intro. Let's do one more. Off next week. Okay, cool. Yeah. All good, baby.
The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the
Okay, one more and then we're gonna move on.
The angles realign. They will not subside. I'd be thinking twice, but it comes that
All right, I'm just gonna do the first line because it's still pissing me off. I want to get just a better intro here.
the angles realign.
No.
The angles realign, but they will not subside. I'd be thinking twice, but it comes that
Okay, that one was good. Meh. But we'll move on because I'm gonna sing this chorus like 3 more times in the song. Okay, genuinely curious. Do you record Vox to a click? So yes, actually, I do. If we go up here, I don't know if the chat's in the way, but let's see if you can see this. Okay, yeah. So right above our instrumental track right here, I do have a click track that I have set up, and I like to do it where Pro Tools has a plugin that will automatically generate click for you. I know, like Logic, there's just a button, right? You just turn it on and off. Reaper was the same way. But with Pro Tools, it's like a plugin that generates it. And then I record that to an audio track, which is where it says click print right here. And the only reason I do that is so then I can mute and unmute sections of the click versus if it's a plugin, it's just on or off. So this is handy for, actually, fantastic question, because at the end of the song here, we have a chorus that plays out with no drums, but I still want the vocals to be there. So that's a perfect case where having the click come in right at that section will really help me keep the tempo while I'm performing it. So if I see if I play, you should hear. I think I have it muted. Hold on. Right, so we hear the click comes in at that part, and that's going to help me a lot because I want to sing the full melody right there, but there's percussion that's keeping the tempo, but it's very minimal, and like that's going to be hard to keep track of. So yeah, I use the click print. They taught me that in the audio engineering school that I went to, and it's really pretty sweet because you can just have it come in for the certain sections that you need, and it's just locked in there. It's not going to go anywhere. And it's like you don't have to automate the plugin. You can just mute and unmute the sections, right? So you see, if I mute this section, right, there's no click there, but then I can just mute it or bring it back when I want the click to come back. So yeah, that's how I do click in Pro Tools. Generally, I mean, if there's drums in the song, I like to feel that as the click because, sorry, let me turn the reverb. If there's drums in the song, I like to feel that as the click because, they'll be pushing and pulling in that, and that'll help me, try to accentuate that in my performance. But sometimes, I like what I'll do is when I make a new project, I'll record click through the whole thing, and then just as I need it, I'll unmute those sections, say I'm trying a part, and I'm like, oh, I'm losing the tempo or whatever. You can just pop that section in. So, in general, though, like when the band's rocking and the drums are playing full volume and everything, I don't have Click on then. But it's in there, so it's always nice to have it. Do you still do the Melissa Cross vocal exercises? Read that you do them at some point. No, but I should. So I have, back in the day, you could like download her vocal warm-ups, and they were really great. We did them on tour a lot, and I think that I still have them, you know, on like one of my old hard drives somewhere. But I haven't been using them as warm-ups, even though I probably should. I should get back to that. What I've been doing lately has just been, now that I got this whole booth set up, I'll just throw on YouTube and sing along to some favorite songs and stuff. So that's kind of like how I've been doing the warm-ups lately, is just pick like a mellow song to start, and then, you know, kind of build it up from there. And it kind of helps just get the juices flowing and get you in the zone versus like, you know, just a simple piano line that you have to sing over and over. But that's probably a more effective warm-up, so I should be doing it. But no, I haven't been doing those in a while, but probably should dig them up again. Because sometimes there's nothing worse than not feeling properly warm before you try to sing a hard part or something. That's cool. You can do that in Pro Tools. Ableton's Click is, like you mentioned, is straight on and off, and it's fucking loud. Yeah. I would imagine that there's a way to change the volume of it, but yeah, it's like, I think it's something that's unique to my situation where I don't have a recording, like I'm tracking myself. So, you know, if you were recording a friend or in a professional studio, you know, you could just mute and unmute the Click like live, right? Just do it yourself, which is like, it's fun, you know, it's cool. It's something for the audio engineer to like be doing if you have to do that in a certain part. But for me, where I'm recording myself, being able to have a fixed printed audio track of the Click that's locked in, that I can then just mute and unmute, and it's like, it's perfectly predictable. That's a big help for sure, because when you need it, you definitely need it. So, all right, let's go to verse number 2 and sing some more stuff. Let's see if I can remember the lyrics that I wrote. Okay, don't mind the white noise. That's all gonna go away. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I have to like mute and unmute my effects because I need to have a talking track and a recording track. I didn't pre-plan this very well. We're just kind of going with it, so bear with me. But it's fun. It's a good learning curve, and I think I'll get used to it. You can just leave them. Yeah, but this is obnoxious. Can you imagine if I was talking at you and I was saying something, a complicated point? It would get fucking annoying. Well, all right. Maybe it's just me. It sounds like what's that fucking? Do you ever hear that mixtape that Lil Wayne did like 15 years ago, where what was it? I think it was called No Ceilings, and he'd have like these interludes in between tracks, but I think they left the effects on, so he'd be like talking shit like this, and there'd just be mad delay. I don't know why I thought of that just now, but that's what it sounds like. Dude, wearing the Head Cave hoodie right now, my man. We need to get some more merch going. We're like out. Well, once we finish the next record or batch of songs, I'm sure we'll have more merch. Okay, where am I at here? Let's see. All right, right there. Okay. Back in the zone.
They will not subside. I'd be thinking twice, but it becomes the lethal gardens, bound decay, angels sweating out their pain, people living in the
finding it. Keep vibing.
They will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. But it becomes the lethal gardens bound decay. Angels sweating out their pain. All beginning in the eye of autumn. Feel the bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning in the eye of autumn.
Fucked up some words there. That's cool. What are you guys talking about? Someone needs to make a Photoshop edit. So Wayne wearing a head cave hoodie. Call him Lil Smack or God Wayne. Why is it? He's this to reference Godsmack? Then he should be wearing a Godsmack hoodie, not a head cave hoodie. Wayne Smack. Dude, I do that all the time. I'll try to tell someone what the band is called, and it just goes headache. Yeah. Yeah, you done goofed. How much sound dampening do you get from the booth setup? Is it like a pop-up thing, right? Got more recently. Okay. I'm gonna do. Let me do a couple more takes, and then I'll tell you about the booth. Because I wanna get a good one down, and then we'll talk about the booth. But yeah, it's something that I got lucky and I found it used, because these things get fucking crazy expensive, man. All right, let's do like one or two more.
But it becomes the lethal gardens bound decay. Angels sweating out their pain. People living in the eye of autumn. Fields of bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning in the eye of autumn.
So I'm trying to figure out like where this part should be vocally. Should it be more breathy, more full? I kind of want it to be a little more full because it's like now we're in the song, but we'll see. All right, yes, the booth. So this thing is a standalone, like, physical booth, and in all my places that I've lived in the past, I have just done, like, soundproofing the existing walls, the existing structure, right? And that's cool, and you can get fine results, but I wanted to get something that when I moved, I could take it with me. And I found, so they make standalone vocal booths, right? And they're like $6,000. You know, they're crazy, and they're pretty big. And I have, there's like this weird spot in my apartment where it's like a cutout that is above the stairs that are below. And it's like the perfect size for a little vocal booth, but one of those pre-made ones from like that are designed for vocal recording, they're like 4 feet, 5 feet wide, would never fit here. But anyways, so I found these things that are designed for like these hipster open office, open workspace companies, like corporations, and they're designed for people to make phone calls in. Like they're called phone booths. So like this thing has this crazy magnetic fiberglass door, and it is pre-routed with lighting and airflow, and there's like a little fan up top. It's ventilated, all this type of stuff, and they work perfectly as for a vocal booth. They're designed for these people to take phone calls in, and if you look up the photos of it, the marketing material is so freaking funny. It like is something strangely dystopian about like a perfect, pretty photo of somebody smiling on the phone in like this tiny little. It looks like a cell almost. It's crazy. It's very, very dystopian sort of thing. But for my purposes, it was perfect because it's professionally built and it looks a little bit nicer than trying to DIY something like I've always done in the past. So it's really cool, man. If you look up, so this company is called Room, is the name of the company, but just look up like Google, office phone booth or work pod or something along those lines, and you'll see tons of these companies that make these things. And Sword White 77, appreciate you. Thank you for the follow. If you look up these photos of these things, you'll see all different types of them, and they make ones that are like big enough for like 4 people to have like a conference call. It's crazy. And those things are expensive too, right? Because they're designed for like these San Francisco, Silicon Valley, corporations. And so some of those things are like even more expensive than the other ones, right? They'll be 6, 7. I've seen them like $10,000. This is not one of those, right? I think if you were to buy this thing new, it'd be like $3,000, $4,000, which is still insanely high. I would never pay something like that for a vocal booth. But being where I'm at here in California, there are a surprising amount of used ones that were available on Craigslist or Facebook. And so I got so lucky with this one. I was going to drive all the way up to like San Francisco to try to buy ones from this company. And I found this one that was 10 minutes down the road. This couple in Long Beach, where I live now, had it. And she was a voice actor, like for audiobooks or for voiceover, video games, whatever. And she had like the craziest little tiny high-pitched voice. She sounded like a cartoon, like Minnie Mouse or something. She was the sweetest lady. And they were using it for voiceover, and they were selling it. So I was able to get this thing for a really good deal, and it fit perfectly in the apartment here, and just crazy lucky with it. So yeah, really, really grateful to have it. This one is called Room, is the name of the company. You can look it up, and they've got a bunch of like behind this like video and like walkthroughs of it, so you can see. And then I just did some extra stuff of putting the extra foam and the TV and the extra shelf for the desk or for the keyboard and all that sort of stuff. But pretty much all of this was how I found it. So very, very lucky to have it. And no, I haven't had any noise issues. One thing like that I worked or I spent a lot of time on was looking for an apartment that I could record in because I mean, I'm sure if you guys are musicians as well, once you get used to having a home studio that's like good enough where you can, do your thing, it is hard to go back from that. So I spent a while looking at places where there wasn't going to be, tons of shared walls, tons of neighbors, somewhere where I could freaking, scream and, not ruin everybody's day. So this place is great. I only have, it's just like a standalone house, and I'm in the top floor, and then my neighbor downstairs is in the bottom floor, and he's the coolest dude. He's into music, and yeah, very, very nice guy, and so far haven't had any complaints. So very, very grateful for being able to record late in the evening like we are. Well, I guess it's only 6 here, but it's dark, so it feels late. So I'm going to sing this verse 1 or 2 more times, and then I'm going to sing the chorus 1 or 2 more times, and then I think we might be done. Let's see. That's the whole chorus. I don't need that.
I'd be thinking twice. Your body becomes the lethal guardians bound decay. Angels sweating out the pain. People living in the eye of autumn. Fields of bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning with the eye of autumn. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
All right, that feels good. I think I'm gonna do the chorus and the verse together like that. You can probably imagine some guy hearing muffled studio sounds from up here just banging his head. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, that's what's so funny. Breakfast is, you're right. Like right now, we can all hear what's in the headphones. But if you were just standing outside, you would just hear, singing and screaming with no context whatsoever. That's the thing. If I was like, Ed Sheeran or something, and I was just singing like a pretty song with an acoustic guitar, I don't think people would be anywhere near as annoyed as some guy just yelling his face off with no context. Very, very probably off-putting if you're just going about your life and your neighbor's doing all that kind of stuff. But no, I've tested the booth. I've checked outside. I've had friends come over and like, hey, go in there and yell, and I can see how loud it is. And it definitely cuts things down a good amount. I mean, obviously you can still hear it, but having like an initial layer to then go through the floor down into his place, not really worried about that. But the speakers, when I got things blasting out of the monitors, I do got to worry about that. Walking so much, you better fucking run. Thanks, man. Yeah, that was the first song I ever recorded for Head Cave. Back in 2018, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I know it's funny to picture people just like being able to hear you scream. But dude, that's the thing, is like, what I've noticed for me is like, you have to have something. I have to have something like this where it's like, I feel in my own world. I know I'm streaming right now, and so it's throwing me a little bit because it's a totally new experience for me. But like, I remember when I was recording at my house in Ohio, I'd be in the basement where we had our home studio. We had all the band, all the amps and the gear and everything down there. And our living room was right upstairs. And so if we had like friends over or people over, whatever it was, and they're trying to hang out and watch TV, I'm literally right downstairs doing exactly what we're talking about, just freaking, screaming like an idiot. And it would fuck with me, like, oh, they're hearing me mess up, or, they're hearing the parts and they can't hear the music, or whatever it is. Like, it just, for me, it takes me out of the song, and it makes recording so much harder because what you're really trying to do is, like, get your mind, like, into the track. And when you're trying to like give your all and go for it, and you're like, shit, can my roommate hear me, or my girlfriend, or my neighbor, or whatever it is, fucking sucks, man. So super blessed to have this booth and be able to like confidently just let it rip and don't have to hold back or worry about anything like that. Makes the recording process way easier. I think that's why people like to do vocals in their car. I mean, obviously, if you've got a long commute or whatever, you've got the time. But I think that the car is like where you feel totally safe in a box, like isolated, and you can just kind of like be free to try whatever. That's kind of the ideal. That's the feeling you want to have when you're recording. Even though I hate doing vocals in the car, but I relate to that, dude. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, my last place I didn't record for years because I was so worried about being judged. Dude, it's the fucking worst. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was super lucky to when we were younger, our parents were cool with our house being the band house. So, we had all the gear over there, and my friends would come over and we would jam. But I remember even then being like worried about um, trying to do vocals or trying to do something new of like, oh, you know, whoever's upstairs, do they hear me fucking it up or making mistakes or whatever. So yeah, just having a safe place where you can kind of express it and do your thing is crucial, which is so ironic because you're literally recording it for people to hear. But you're supposed to like, it's supposed to be safe. It's like, all right, I'm gonna try a bunch of stuff in here, and then people will hear it when it's good and when it's ready, which is why, unironically, the live streaming part of this is totally turning it on its head. But maybe because it's happening virtually, hopefully, I think I can get used to it, and I think it could be kind of cool because, you know, at least I think that if somebody that I liked what they did musically or their vocals or whatever, I think it'd be interesting to see their process. So hopefully it is. I have no idea how this is actually gonna materialize, but so far I'm enjoying it. I was gonna ask the last stream, but I forgot. I was in Ohio recently for work, Akron. Just curious what part. So I grew up in Columbus, which is like the capital in the center, but not far from Akron. Actually, I know there's a few bands that came from Akron. I think Devil Wears Prada was somewhere around, was it Lima? Somewhere around there. But yeah, Akron's not far. I've been there many times. Yeah, I get that feeling. Last place didn't record for years, worried about it. Yeah, man, same. The car is the only place I do vocals and it sucks because I don't have time to warm up for anything. I want to record vocals at home, but only when my wife is gone. Dude, I hear you, man. I know, I see videos of people doing vocals in their car and sound great. And for whatever reason, for me, it is just not a comfortable, like singing is fine. I'll sing in the car, that's cool. But trying to scream, like sitting down, for me is just weird. Like it just feels weird trying to scream in the car. I've never enjoyed that, but I know some people that do it, and I've seen videos of people do it, and they sound great and they are comfortable. So obviously, like if it's something you enjoy, more power to you. Keep doing it. But yeah, man, I think that's so much of that is the key is just having a place to try it and a place to practice is so crucial to getting the stuff done. Like that's why I really wanted to have a good vocal setup at home because then, it just gets rid of all the friction. You know what I mean? All you got to do is walk in, flip a switch, and you can start recording. Now, I still have problems with like making the time and not being lazy and all that. But just having it all set up and kind of ready to go is super, super helpful. Mr. Joyner, did anyone take over for Tanner? So for Head Cave, no. At the moment, it's just Nick and myself. And we're still kind of we're still a new band and it's still a new project. So it just being me and him for the time being, I think is totally fine. Because the way we were doing it before, Nick was writing and still does. I mean, he writes all the instrumental tracks on his own. Like if you ever watched his Twitch channel or listened to any of his instrumental stuff, you'll hear, he can do the whole instrumental process. I mean, the drums are programmed, but he's able to, do all that stuff and give me a completely finished instrumental. And then having Tanner involved was great because he would have his own take, right? I mean, he would hear the song fresh and he would make the drums, I think, more realistic in the end, like go through and, make the parts better. But Nick and I have been making some effort with the new album that we're working on right now of trying to give the drums more attention and more realism than we did in the past. Which, yeah, it's a shame that it's not, a real drummer playing it, but unfortunately, that's just the way stuff is now. Where if you're making records in the home studio, recording drums is a tall order. So I think it's fine with how it is, But in the future, it'd be really cool to collaborate with some other people, or when we ever do shows, obviously have a real person playing. So, but yeah, no one else has stepped in yet. Okay, gotta know, what is the best pointer for learning how to scream in the style you do? I noticed the screams change from Strangers Only to now. Does that have anything to do with you learning the right way? That's a good question. So, I actually think that like my technique, in terms of like the right or the wrong way, I feel like it's probably gotten worse over the years. And what I mean by that is like the way I was doing it before was like a little bit more consistent. Like I'm thinking back to like early, like pre-Strangers Only, like what's the fucking records? Like To Create a Cure and Opportunity to Be. It was like a very like much more of like a traditional kind of like a metalcore false chord type scream, whereas I think now there's way more like voice in it. And I do notice that my endurance is not quite as good with the old technique, but I think that's a combination of not playing shows at all in like years. Because for me personally, I always noticed that the more consistently I was screaming, the more shows I was playing, singing every single night, my voice felt like it got stronger, like it actually got better, which I always tried to think was a good sign. Like, I feel like if you're doing something wrong, you're going to go downhill if you repeat it every day, but I felt like I would get better throughout the tour. So just not having done that in a while, I think it's changed my technique, where now I'm only focused on recording stuff, and the environment's just different, right? I mean, recording, I care more about getting the absolute coolest sound I possibly can, whether or not it's efficient or, like, oh, I could sing a whole song that way. I kind of don't care as much, because in the studio, you can pause and try again. Now, obviously, you want to keep things realistic, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that is probably a reason why it's changed over the years. And I have always loved the pitched screaming, the sing scream sort of thing that some of these guys can do, like what's his name, Corey from Norma Jean, or Sam from Architects, and like the ability to put a note into the scream. I always thought that was so cool, and it seemed completely unreachable or impossible for me to do. And so I think that my voice, like my pitched voice, kind of creeping its way into the screams more, is part of that process. And then I think just writing stuff for a new band has switched it up too, because like there's a different persona, or I try to have like a different personality to the Head Cave stuff versus My Ticket Home. So yeah, kind of a long-winded answer, but hopefully some of that made sense. MTH going to be a studio thing now? Is it all four of you guys, or only a couple? It's all four. We're still together. We're just have been on this crazy hiatus. So it's going to be, we're doing it, modern day style, where each guy's got their home studio, and we've been sending demos back and forth and writing stuff. And man, it has been a trip, but it has been really cool, because now it's not just, I'm not the only one who can record stuff. You know what I mean? It used to be you have to come to my house and I'll run the session, and we'll get some ideas down. Now Derek can record, Matt can record, Marshall can record. Like, they all have their own home studio setup, and they can put together these ideas on their own, and we can all hear each other's finished thing, rather than them trying to say, oh, do it like this, where then it has to go through me, and then I'll inevitably change it, and then you lose what the original guy's idea was. So having everybody being able to do the home studio thing has been fucking awesome. But I do miss jamming. That's the only thing. Okay, A couple more of these, and then I do need to sing a tiny bit more. Let's see. I'm sure your old style of screaming was very similar to Caleb Shomo, but I feel like since Unreal really came into your own blend of singing and screaming is a good mix. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's pitch screams are so cool, but so hard for me. Man, I hear you. Like I have been chasing that tail for like 10 years of wishing I could sound like these other guys and just never could wrap my head around it with the pitch screams. So I understand. If I think about it more, if I come up with anything, useful that I think is a tip that helped me or whatever, maybe I'll make a video about it. But for me, I think learning, like just improving my singing kind of helped. And then just trying to mentally get rid of the divide between screaming and singing and just try to think of, I'm a vocalist, right? Like just, there's blur the lines, So yeah, I'll have to think about it more if there's, I don't know if I have any good advice about it, but just keep trying pick stuff that's in your range, right? Like don't do some shit that's like crazy high pitch, because with the pitch screams, you can hit these really, really crazy high notes that you probably wouldn't be able to hit in your chest voice or even your head voice, but you can get up there with this distorted voice. But that would probably be a hard thing to start with. So maybe, something that's in like a reasonable range, and you can just focus on the balance of, distortion versus a note. Codename Gray Fox, was it in your Spotify? Dude, that's rad. The top 5. Thank you very much, man. I really hope to get some new music out for you guys soon. Nick and we've got probably like 4 or 5 songs that we're sitting on right now, and we're probably gonna do another batch and go for like a full length. Because it's been a minute, so I wanna have a nice complete body of work to come back with. Okay. Now that I've talked too much, let's sing a little bit of something. Let's hear where we're at.
Your body becomes and bound decay. Angels sweating out the pain. People living in the eye of autumn. Fields of bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning with the eye of autumn.
All right. Let's do a couple more of these.
They will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. Your body becomes the light. Lethal gardens bound decay. Angels sweating out the pain. People living in the eye of autumn. Fields of bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning with the eye of autumn. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the
All right. That wasn't okay. Holy Sins, listen, million bands. Experience got a very unique voice. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I think that I really take that to heart, because I know that I'm not like any sort of like amazingly talented singer, but if you can do something that is like cool and unique that gets your vision across, that's like the best thing you can hope for. Like I remember there's a quote from that I always remember from the producer from our last record. His name is Fred. He did Unreal, the last MTH record, and we were talking about something, and he goes, it's better to be cool than it is to be good. Like it's more important to be cool than it is to be good. And I was like, that is so freaking true, because there's so many bands that I love and singers and stuff that I love that objectively you could maybe make the argument, oh, you know, they're pitchy or they don't have control or they're bad technique or whatever it is, right? But it's fucking cool, right? Versus when you hear someone who's professionally trained, they're like, it's almost like they're too in control, like they're too good, right? Like when you hear someone, I don't want to say like struggling, but like they just put more emotion into it versus, I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, because there are, of course, people who are blessed enough to do both. I just wouldn't say that I'm one of them. But so yeah, if it's something that can be cool or unique, then that is like the ultimate goal for me. So I really appreciate you saying so. All right, let's just do. I feel okay about that verse. Let's just do this last chorus a couple times, and then we can probably get you guys out of here because I know it's Friday. Let's go where our click comes in. Let's go back for. All right, cool. Let's go right there. Okay, so that was funny because I had my big delay turned off, and it felt dry. Let's do one more. Yeah, the click is in the outro. See the purple. The angles realign. The pain will not subside. Okay, some good, some okay. Let's see. The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The angles realign. The pain will not do one or two more of those, and then I might try a harmony on this chorus. Now, like I said, harmonies are not my strong suit, but we'll see what we can do.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay, so I felt like the first half of that take was good, and then on the repeat, I blew it. So we're gonna punch the second half of that.
The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign.
Oh shit! I have quick punch turned off, fellas, and maybe ladies. I don't know, folks. Here we go. Need the quick punch. Okay, so if you don't know this, let me see if I go follow my mouse. If you go up to this button right here for Pro Tools, this has options for the record type. And quick punch is the cool one because you can hit play and then just punch something in like you would on tape, right? So you can go. You would sing this.
The pain will not.
And then we only recorded this little section here. So quick punch is really, really nice. So I'm going to do the second half, and then we'll try some harmonies maybe.
Becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
But it's kind of weird because you have to hit the button and go straight to singing. So maybe I'll just do the outro one more time. Excuse me.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
So I came into the wrong part. But that's okay. I really just wanted this last line. So I'm fine with it.
Will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay. Asking questions about the delay chain. Good way to dial in with vocals. Okay, sorry I missed this question. Took me a second, but I will show you. Let's see what I have going on down here. Now you'll notice all my stuff down here is named test because I just did a rough dial in on a vocal session that I was doing and intended to like go back and make it cooler and just have never done it. So everything is still, you know, what I just kind of set up in that one session, and I just haven't messed with it in a while. But so I do everything on auxiliary sends. So just like a quick, you probably maybe you know what that is already, but basically instead of putting a delay plugin on your vocal track, you make a second vocal track and then you send your lead vocal to that, and then that feeds a delay. So, oh, Vile Tato, what's up, my friend? Yes, good to have you. So having it on a separate track is really, really great because it preserves your dry vocal, your main vocal, and then you can mess with the auxiliary track, which is in this case a delay, or maybe it's a reverb or a distortion or whatever it is, and you have separate controls for that track versus your lead. So let's just go through some of these plugins here. Let's see what I have. So this guy is our big delay, and I'm just using the stock stuff that comes in Pro Tools. Nothing crazy. I have, wait, let me make sure you can see the plugins so it's not, okay, cool. Last time I was doing this, I had a thing in the screen recording where you couldn't see the plugins. It's crazy. It wasn't crazy, but I talked about it for like 5 minutes. So I'm doing a high pass just to cut out some of the low end, and I'm cutting a lot. 400 is higher than I would normally go. But apparently I did it here, and maybe it sounds okay. And then I'm doing just a little bit of stereo delay. I've got these on 2 different millisecond settings. The feedback kind of turned up, and I'm rolling off some of the high end on these. So if I turn it on, that's what it sounds like. And hearing it now, I actually do think that the high pass makes a big difference, because like this, listen to all that low end on the delay. That shit would add up in a track for sure. So we're just cutting it out. Maybe it's cutting it too far. I don't know. I would kind of go back and tweak that. But it's just, like I said, these are the settings I did that one day, and I haven't changed them. And then here's a delay down the middle in mono. So we've got 2 delays here, right? We have a stereo delay and then just a mono delay. Let's go to this one. Oh, this is a cooler plugin. This is like a tape echo. So it sounds a little bit more analog versus the other one, which is extremely digital, kind of modern sounding. And I just have both of these on, actually. And because they're at different tempos, you get this crazy, soupy swirl. And I usually don't sync delays to the BPM. Like in the plugin, you know how you can sync it to the tempo of the track and then just go eighth note, quarter note, whole note, whatever. I forget who I heard it from. I think it was Chris Lord Algae maybe, or maybe it was someone else. And they were talking about how dialing the delay in by hand with the milliseconds is, they just said it was cooler, basically, because it's like, if you do everything to the grid, right? I mean, with the way modern, we're all making records these days is all in the digital workstations, all these programs. Everything's already to the grid. So anytime you can add in a little bit of chaos, a little bit of stuff being like just off a little bit, I always feel like it is, it's just cool. It just sounds nice. So I just dial everything in by hand with the milliseconds, and I think you get this natural fluctuation with, like, as the delay is ticking, it may be, maybe it's a little too fast or it's a little too slow, and so each hit of the delay is slightly off and slightly new, and I think that allows you to hear it, your ear notices it more without having to crank it up super high. So I think that is maybe kind of the theory behind it. But yeah, I've been doing it that way. We're just set them by the milliseconds instead of on the grid. And Z-Force 422, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you being here. I say man as a figure of speech. Z-Force could be a lady. But thank you for the follow. And yeah, so those are the 2 delays that I've got going right now. I also have, yeah, I'm a man, you're good. So then I also have a slap delay that's not on right now. Let's turn this on. Oh, I don't even have a feed going to it. Well, it's not important though. And then I've got reverb down here. This is a really cool plate unit that I think is free. I can't remember. I think, or it was maybe on sale, and it was like $10 at the time. But this is a cool analog style plate on the Verb. And the rest of these down here are used for effects. So they're like, I call them a delay throw, where it's like you would want a really obvious delay in the song, like maybe a whole section of words, you know what I mean? Something that like people, when you're singing along to the song, the echo is like a noticeable part. Whereas these other delays are just meant for ambience and like background and adding fullness to the vocal, versus, you know, one of the delay throws is like, oh, I want you to hear that. So I've got 3 different ones here just so I can automate them differently, and they've got different plugin settings on them. But I think they're all still using this built-in Pro Tools delay, and they all just have these crazy different settings. Oh, let's hear. Maybe let's turn one on just to see it real quick. So if I go to, oh, you guys are in the way. I can't see. Sorry, 1 second. I have to move the chat. Let's try over here. Okay. So if I go here, let's do one of our throws. See, I got all these buses. Let's go throw one. So if I bring up the volume here, it's a crazy long feedback. But that could be cool in a certain part of the song, right? Like if there's a punchline, you know, some big epic note or a scream or something like that, and you want it to just feel absolutely huge. That's something we could try. Like we got another one down here. Check. So that one's a little more subtle. You can hear the left side has more feedback than the right. But yeah, so those. And I have this as like a template where all this stuff is just down here. I open a vocal session and it's just all right there, ready to go. Because most of these sessions I'm thinking of like songwriting sessions rather than, you know, full mix session, final product type stuff. You know, if I was actually going to go mix, you know, a song and get the final version, you would want to go in and dial the effects in, you know, like bespoke, like perfectly for what you want to have happen in the song. But for just, you know, for tracking and for writing stuff, just having these things where you can access them quickly is really nice for getting the ideas down, right? I don't have to make a new track and load a delay plugin and you know, find the feedback and the tempo and all this, you know, all that stuff. You don't have to do it. It's all just already down there. And then you can just, you know, turn it on or turn it off as you choose. So I hope that was cool. I'm not... if you have specific delay questions, though, let me know. Because I just kind of gave you, like, just a general breakdown of how I have things at the moment. All right, where did this need to be? I think this was distortion. Okay. Of course, Nicole. Thank you. Or Nickel, my bad. And dude, don't worry about the questions at all, because that's the whole point of these things, is to be able to you know, communicate and share ideas. So yeah, thank you for asking questions, because without it, I would run out of stuff to talk about. What camera do I use? So the one I have now is a Panasonic GH5. And I've been shooting on Panasonic for a really long time. I like their stuff a lot. I did a bunch of the MTH videos with their stuff, and the Headcave videos too. So that's the one that I just got a couple months ago. There's better cameras. There's newer ones. The most important thing, the thing that makes, I think, the biggest difference is the lenses. If you get like some cool, you know, good quality lenses, or some cool vintage ones, good primes, stuff like that. Yeah, just curious why you ask. I don't know if you're into video or photography or not, but yeah, the GH5, it's a GH5S is the version that I have. Okay, let's get these last bits of vocals done, and then we'll listen to the song. Sorry. Check.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay, good enough. Let's try harmonies. Ooh, okay, we got some questions though. Just looking to get one. I'm borrowing my buddy's Sony A7, but I don't think I would use it enough to warrant me dropping the money. Dude, the Sony stuff is great. I know those are really popular lately. People have really been loving the A7 series and the FX series. A friend of mine shoots on the FX and really likes it. But you're right, they're expensive for sure. I think that it's personal preference. Like if it's a genuine interest you have, then I don't think you'll regret it, because having a real camera with the means to control stuff and be able to shoot stuff that you otherwise can't is so much fun. So if it's something that you're considering, maybe wait for a good sale or a good opportunity and just try your hand at it. But it's a blast, man. But these days, the smartphones are so freaking good that, you can make great, photos and videos or anything that you want, even with the phone these days. If you get one of the apps that gives you all the manual control and stuff, you can do lots of stuff that way. But yeah, the A7 ones are pretty sweet. I'm actually jealous. I've never used one, but I hear good things. Z-Force. All right, let's see. I feel like the singing from Strangers Only now has changed significantly. Strangers Only is a little deeper, so to speak, since Unreal. Seems like it has a higher timbre. Am I crazy, or is that something you work to achieve? You're not wrong at all. I totally hear that. Wait, significantly maybe was not the word. Oh, no, I totally get your point. It's weird. It had just kind of happened on its own, and I kind of try to keep it in check, because I don't want it to sound like too whiny or like too nasally. But I definitely know, so Strangers Only was the first time I had sang on a record in a long time. For a while, for the first couple records of MTH, I was just doing screams. And then that record, Derek did most of the singing and I did some of the singing. And I remember it was like, I was singing, but I was basically just yelling, right? I mean, like, it was, I was like attacking the note. I was treating it like a scream, and I didn't have very much control, and my pitch wasn't very good. And pitch is still something that I struggle with a lot. It's always been like my weakest link, I think, as a vocalist, especially as a singer. But yeah, it's funny. It's like, when I was younger, my singing voice and my performing voice was deeper. And I think I hear it in the screams too. Like if I listen to Strangers Only now, some of that stuff I'm like, oh, it sounds like it's really like kind of gargly and very like, it's like a lower sort of tone. Like there's not really any, like the highs that are on that record aren't like as where my voice is now is just a little bit higher. I'm not sure exactly how it, what made that happen. Maybe me becoming obsessed with Oasis over the past couple of years had something to do with it. But I've definitely noticed that too. So no, you're not imagining things. That is definitely something that's happened. Hope all is well. Any updates on Head Cave stuff? Eagerly waiting for music. Loving what we've been hearing on Insta. Thank you, Disco Cobra. So where we're at now is we probably have maybe 4 or 5 songs done, and we want to do a full length for the next release. So it's really up to me that I just need to get my ass in gear and get stuff recorded. It's just been tough balancing work time with recording time, and then also trying to do some stuff, more for social media as well. So I have got probably 20 songs written for Head Cave that I just need to get recorded. So we'll pick our favorites and try to get a full album done together. I was actually just talking to Nick the other day of man, maybe we should just do a single soon, because I'm getting bored and want to release something. So, but yeah, still working on some stuff for Head Cave, definitely. Time Kills Everything was an Oasis vibe. Yeah, exactly. It was. I mean, I think that's what we all do. Is we just kind of rip off our idols and our favorites, right? So during Strangers Only, I was obsessed with Nirvana, and then during Unreal, I was obsessed with Oasis. So I think it's pretty obvious, especially on that song, once you know that. But yeah, man, definitely took a lot from them. What do I do for work? Recording audio engineering at all? No, not for audio engineering. I did do. I used to do audio engineering for work. I was a live sound engineer at a club in Columbus, and it was a perfect gig at the time because I could take breaks to tour, and then I would come back and just go back to working at the club. And that's kind of, over the years of being a musician and always having my house be the band house where the studio was and all that sort of stuff, I always wanted to learn how to make things sound the way I wanted to. So I got interested in the audio engineering side from that, and then started doing live sound for my own band and for other bands on tour. And so that was my main gig during the touring years. But these days, now it's all photo and video stuff. So I do video editing and filming for a bunch of different people. Lately I've just been fully independent freelance and have just been making contacts since I moved out here, and have done a pretty wide variety of gigs. A lot of places where they're I never thought I'd be here just because I know how to use a camera. But it's been cool, man. Very, very cool. So interested to see where that goes. I can tell you're obsessed with Nirvana. Yeah, dude, exactly. It's strange only because you look like it's exactly that, man. We were all obsessed with that, right? I mean, you look back at the photos and it's all thrift store flannels and dirty Chucks and everything, man. Yeah. It was not subtle, but yeah, that's definitely what I was into at the time, for sure. Definitely want to hear some of the clean singing. Hope to hear more of this record. I'm sure you get this a lot, but I hope My Ticket Home comes back someday. Looks like you guys are on hiatus at some point. We are writing new music currently, actually. We have been on hiatus forever since the last tour, and recently I have been slowly trying to get the other guys into the concept of writing some new music, and it's been working. Not that it was my idea, but I've been trying to help them get their home studios set up so that we have the means to write and record, because right now we're all in different states, right? I'm in Long Beach here in California, Marshall's in Arizona, Derek's in Ohio, and Matt's in New Jersey. So it's the only way to do it is to do it virtually online. And I think learning how to do that stuff in Head Cave when I was still in the Midwest and Nick was here in California showed me that all right, it's possible. You can write songs over Zoom and it won't suck necessarily. So yeah, we're definitely working on some new stuff. Yeah, a tour is a tall order just because people got wives and children now. But maybe a show, at least, would be really cool. So, all right, let's try. I know I'm talking a lot, but I don't want to take too long on the Friday, and I'm getting hungry. So let's try to think of maybe some harmonies for this last bit, and then we will wrap the song. Check.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of notes here. Give me 1 second.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the.
All right, I only have like 1 or 2 parts that I think are good. So, okay, let's see. 1 mic for vocals and only 1. Which would you recommend? That's a good question. So it's kind of like there's a lot of things to think about, right? Of what's most important to you. So like the 2 general main categories you have are dynamic microphones versus condenser microphones. So like a dynamic microphone is one that doesn't use external power, and a condenser microphone has an electrically charged plate that needs power coming from your audio interface. Those aren't the main differences, but traditionally or generally speaking, the dynamic microphones are like more durable. They have a good amount of dynamic range, and they have generally less high end than a condenser mic, whereas a condenser mic is going to have more detail, it's going to have more high end, and it's going to be a louder signal overall. But I think the main thing you'd want to think about is what suits your style of performance, right? So one of the reasons why I'm using this mic, which is a Shure SM7B, which is a super, famous popular mic, is I got really used to handheld recording. I was using a Shure 58, which I did the first 2 Head Cave records on a Shure 58 for all the Screams, which is a, $75 microphone, right? It's not anything crazy or fancy, but I loved being able to hold it in my hand and like run around and move around. There's lots of famous stories of singers in studios with millions of dollars of gear recording vocals on a 58 because the singer just likes to walk around and likes to move around and do their thing. So maybe, being able to handhold is like something you really care about. So I got this mic thinking I was going to handhold it like I was doing the 58, and I fucking hate holding this thing by the hand. So I just put it on the stand and got used to it. But yeah, for condenser versus dynamic, those are like the main 2 categories. Which one? That's so hard to say. I mean, this one is a staple. The SM7B is a very famous, good all-around mic. It's like $400, $300, probably cheaper right now because it's the holidays. You can take this pop filter off and use it with like a traditional pop filter. You can hold it in your hand. The only thing with this one is it's kind of a low output, so people think that if you don't have a good quality audio interface, this mic doesn't play as well. But it's a decent option, man. But that's the thing, is it like if it's for vocals, it more matters how the mic matches your voice, right? Like I've seen this a bunch in studios where you'll do mic shootouts with the singer, right? And sure, there are differences in quality. So, a true professional, analog, old school tube mic that's $12,000 is going to sound amazing on anyone, right? A C12, a Telefunken 251. These types of mics are going to sound great on everybody. But it more matters of like if the mic sounds good for your voice. So my recommendation would be is to just try a few. Most places will let you, return stuff, or if there's like a rental house that you can call and just try and see what you like. But I think the ergonomics are also important too, right? Like if you want to be able to scream and do your thing with the mic, then maybe you don't care about having a condenser, or if you want something to just be locked in on a stand, where you can like, I got a pop filter down here for when I was using my condenser the other day, right? So you could like, have it on the stand and it's up here and you kind of don't touch it and you just, you sing off of it, and maybe a condenser would be the way to go for you. So it really all depends. I'm trying to think, like, I wish I could give you a better specific example of the best ones. There's the Audio-Technica ones. People really like those condensers, like the 4040s and the 2020s. People like those a lot. Rode has some good stuff. They're kind of all, these days, man, the condensers are all like pretty good. The most important thing is to get it to match your voice and to learn the basics of the engineering, and you'll be set. That's it. I mean, you don't have to have a $10,000 mic to make a hit. You definitely don't. So, sorry I kind of ranted there, but that's just kind of my thoughts on that. What's for breakfast? It's leftovers today. I got tofu stir fry is the dinner this evening. Before I leave, name my top 5 records. That's fucking impossible. I don't think I could. I can give you maybe top 5 bands, but I don't know about top 5 records. Even top 5 bands is hard. I don't know. Slipknot is number 1. Fuck. I mean, Oasis has to be in there. Linkin Park has to be in there. System of a Down has to be in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about order. That's a tough call, man. Have you thought about getting a heavy bottom mic stand? Atlas makes a good one, weighs about 50 pounds. So the one I have, you can't see the floor, but it does have a heavy round base, and that's nice because like, hopefully it won't tip over. The tripod ones, they just take up too much room. So this is nice because you can like, if I'm getting into it, right, I can like move it around, and that's good. But that would be cool if it was like, I don't know if you've seen the mic stand that Jonathan Davis uses when he does the live stuff with Korn, where it's like fucking strapped to the floor, so he can like bitch slap the thing and it will swing like 6 feet sideways and will always come back upright. I thought that was the coolest idea I'd ever seen, and it's like this custom. I think they got like the guy from Alien, H.R. Giger, to like make him a mic stand. It's the coolest looking thing. If you've never seen that, just look up like videos or photos of his mic stand. It's so cool. The SM7DB is what I was looking at. So is that the new one? I think they made a new one that has that's like specifically for podcasting, and it does have like a boost built into it. And if it's all the same internals, just with like a little extra, gain staging sort of thing, then maybe that's a perfect option. I remember everybody was always talking about the cloud lifters for these things, which is like, I think you're overpaying for what you get because it's literally just a boost. I've never had any issues with the level, but I'm also a pretty loud guy. So if you were using this to like, record Billie Eilish or something, maybe you would need a boost. So, Slipknot local crew shirt from 2013. That's fucking sweet, dude. Oh, no, you keep that for sure. If you got that, especially if you got that in person, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I've never seen them live, but that's a pretty sweet get. And yeah, man, Slipknot is the number 1 for sure. For me, because that defined what heaviness and what screaming was for me. Like, that was the center of the universe as far as, like, what I think of as, like, the my favorite screaming vocal, or just vocal performances in general, right? Like that, the rawness and the hype that I got from those records still can't be topped for me. So Slipknot is the number one. And because they're just so unique, nobody was making, still to this day, there is nothing for me that like can scratch that same itch. So that's why I think it's got to be number one. Okay. I'm talking too much. Let me try to put some sort of harmony, and then I'll let you guys go.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay, so I only really have an idea for the second half, but let's just try it. Do I like technical death metal? I've been getting into it, man. Matt is really into that type of stuff, the more techie, almost like black metal type stuff. And I do think it's really great. I was into like deathcore and stuff, and a little bit more of like the technical metal in high school. But Meshuggah, I would put in that category. I don't know if they're top 5 for me, but fucking A, they are so cool. So I need to kind of go down that route a little bit more, because I know there's good stuff in there.
Ankles
Whoops. All right, let's go to a new track here, and we'll try a couple. See if we find something.
realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The angles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay, maybe I have a cool idea here. It could be like a cool, instead of just a straight harmony that follows it, you could go like call and response in the gaps. Let's see if this is cool. Hold on. This might be more interesting than just a harmony. Oh, did the camera die? All right, hold on. I prepared for this. I got extra batteries. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Look at this. Didn't know we were dealing with a professional streamer over here. Guys on battery power. Let's go. Travis Ryan is the GOAT for me when it comes to that crazy stuff. I will check that out, man. Is that the name of the singer? Or is that like a solo project? Oh, Cattle Decapitation. Dude, they are fucking sick. I have definitely heard them before. They are really, really good. All right. Let's try. I think a call and response thing on this could be really cool. Let's see if let me find this here.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside.
see if this is cool. Check it out.
The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realign. The pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Yeah. Okay, good enough. That's cooler than just a harmony, right? Yeah, because it's like, now there's like, I think there's more justification for there being no drums now. Now it's like this swirling, surrounding you type of situation with the vocal. So hopefully that's more interesting. Let's try a couple of those. Gray Fox, where did we record Unreal, and would you go to the same studio again? We recorded it at a place called Sonic Ranch, which is in South Texas, very South Texas. It's literally, the property actually shares, like the border fence is right on the property limits of the studio. And it was incredible. Absolutely top-notch place, amazing staff, amazing gear. I don't think that we'll ever record there again just because it's just expensive. And not that place, but like any professional studio like that is expensive. And I think that we're just going to go the home recorded route all the way. Like with the demos we've been getting down so far, a lot of the stuff I think is good enough for final takes, final performances. And I'm going to give a crack at mixing it because I did some mixing on the last tracks that we did, and I feel like I've learned a lot since then. So just with where we are financially and just being able to do it, 100% ourselves, I think would be really, really cool. So I don't know if we'll ever go back to a full pro studio like that. Would absolutely love to, because the environment there is just such an awesome place to be. Like, the studio is just a fun place to hang out. Even other people's home studios that are like nicer than what I have and stuff, you feel a certain, it's just a good hang and a fun place to be. So I'm definitely, it's bittersweet, I do love the idea of, moving in and staying someplace for 3 weeks to make a record. But just financially is probably the main reason. In El Paso, I think so. Or it's near El Paso. I want to say it's in El Paso. Let's see. I'll Google it right now. But yeah, that place is rad. Really, really rad. Sonic Ranch Studio. El Paso County. Amarillo. Or no. Tornillo. That's the place. Yep. Yeah, place is freaking cool. Really, really cool. I forget which room we were in. But it's a sweet place. I hope you can see this because I'm clicking images here. Yeah, you can. Really, really cool place. And, funny enough, I filmed the entire process, same way we did with Strangers Only. And I have that footage sitting somewhere on a hard drive. So I need to slap together another little mini documentary with all the footage, because everyone was making fun of me so much during the filming process or during the recording process because I was too spending too much time thinking about the video. So I took all this shit from everybody and I never finished the video. So I need to get that done. Okay, let's see. Small World. Record Through the Needle's Eye. That one sounded really good too. So interesting. That one's like a combo where the instruments were all recorded at Sonic Ranch, and we recorded them all, and then for whatever reason, we weren't that into that track or didn't feel like it fit on the record, and so we kind of thought of it as a B-side, and I never recorded the vocals to it during making Unreal. So we had this instrumental track that we recorded there, and we had all the stems, and so I just decided to record the vocals at my place. So I did the vocals at my home studio on that, and I mixed it and used the stems from the Sonic Ranch recording from that track. So that one's kind of like a weird mashup. Some mixing video features we want to learn. Yeah, man, that would be really cool. I think that the mixing, a mixing video would be, I think that would lend itself really well to like a stream versus kind of what I'm doing now, where I have to kind of like juggle 2 different headspaces at the same time. Versus mixing, you know, it's just a little bit simpler. But yeah, that would be really cool. I'm not like an expert, but I have spent a lot of time trying to get as good as I can. So, you know, whatever value or whatever knowledge I have, would be more than happy to share. So that would be cool to do at some point as well. So I'll definitely think of that for sure. Yeah, the footage. I know, dude. I need to make the making of Unreal. I think that would be like a really sweet thing to drop around the same time whenever we release music. I think that would be really cool. Okay, let's do this call and response guy just a bit more, and then I think we'll call it because it is 7 o'clock here and I need dinner. So let's do this one more time. I don't know if I'll have it trail off like that. Maybe I'll cut the last one. 10 p.m. for you guys. Yeah, you guys are on the East Coast, man. I appreciate you staying late. Well, it's Friday though. Okay. All right, let's get one more good take of this, and then we'll bounce. Okay, I think that adds some drama to our exit here, which is kind of nice. So let's play. We don't have comps. We don't have anything. So I have no idea where the good takes are. But I will try to give us some sort of a full song listen here. Let's see. So on Pro Tools, if you just hold Shift and up and down, you can cycle through all your playlists, which is what I'm doing right now, where you see all this stuff jumping around. So if I go in, you can see these are all the tracks we recorded today, right? All these different playlists. But when they're hidden, and you can't see them, you just hold Shift and you can go up and down through them, which is nice. So I have no idea which take is a good take. Usually one's towards the end, so let's try one of those. And I'll just pick a random one. Let's just see how it sounds. Okay. I'll try to switch through so we can get vocals through the whole thing too. All right, do the whole track. Might put some pre-chorus.
The angles realize they will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. Your body becomes the lethal guardians bound to decay. Angels sweating out their pain. All beginning in the eye of autumn. Feel the bodies bound in chains. Bleach the sun and drown the rain. All beginning in the eye of autumn. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the
And we got our bridge breakdown here, which we haven't listened to very much. Not sure what I'll do here vocally. I might keep it minimal. But maybe something, maybe like just a couple small lines kind of float around the background there. And then we go to our chorusy outro.
The ankles realize the pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind. The ankles realize the pain will not subside. I'd be thinking twice. The body becomes the mind.
Okay. Not bad for a first draft and a complete mess, but that's okay. Yeah, so I think, whoops, sorry. So I think we'll need to spice up the bridge, make that more interesting, kind of make that, feel like something actually happens there, and then the transition into the last chorus we can play with as well. But it's more about just trying to find the vibe, and I feel like this song has such a cool atmosphere. So hopefully I'm getting that right with the vocal approach that I'm taking right now. The way I think of this, like sometimes like when you're working on something, you'll like I'll have a scenario or like a landscape in my mind, like a universe that this song exists in. And I think of this as like, you know, you're riding on a train and you're like looking out the window at this world that you're passing by. And so I'm trying to like have that kind of like voyeuristic sort of experience of like just kind of describing all this, you know, things that you could see if you look out the window at this sort of different world, and trying to make it seem, it feels very like tense and dystopian is how the song feels. So hopefully the vocals can kind of pull at that. So, all right, let's see. Recognize it from Derek's Insta. Yeah, he posted this one because it's such a sweet guitar part that I'm really glad he's let me sing on it. Much appreciated another Twitch stream. Thank you. It's been an absolute blast. I tell you what, man. I was recording vocals today, and I had the thought of like, oh, I should just fucking stream it, just do it. And I've been just totally nervous, like chicken to do it. So just decided to go for it, and yeah, hopefully it was fun. This is a learning process for me of, you know, can I still record? Can I be in the zone? Does it you know, ruin my ability to sing well? You know, am I going to be thinking too much about, oh, what's everybody going to, you know, think on their side, all this different stuff? Is it going to be boring? You know, whatever. But I'm actually enjoying it, and I think it's a good way to kind of get me out of my comfort zone a little bit, and it's cool to just connect with people. So thank you all so much for watching. I mean, Christ, to sit around and you know, listen to me babble about different stuff. I really appreciate it, because without people, you know, watching or listening, then, you know, some of this stuff has no value. So thank you all very much, for real. It's very, very encouraging and fun for me to know that you guys are out there. So thank you, for real. Yeah, another Twitch stream. MTH going to mellow vibe with this new stuff. No, not as a whole. Some of the new stuff is mellow, but I would say it is. Is it the heaviest stuff we've ever done? I don't know. Heavy means different things to different people, but it's definitely like trying to take the best things from Unreal and the best things from Strangers Only and combine them. I think when we did Unreal, we were a little bit. I think we were just trying too hard. You know, just trying too hard to be good, and we were kind of turned off from the scene, you know, and the metalcore scene that we kind of came up in, and so I think we were trying too hard to differentiate ourselves from that, and maybe threw out some things that were good about our band, just kind of like whole cloth that we maybe shouldn't have. So it feels good to kind of like, we've taken a step back now and have a little bit of perspective, and now it's like, you know, Christ, we've been so inactive. It's not even like we're, you know, I don't like in the scene necessarily, you know, because we're, you know, we've just been on this hiatus. So it feels like we kind of have the freedom to just kind of do whatever we want. So yeah, hopefully when we get stuff done and released, everyone, you know, people like it. But that's kind of the goal, is to capture the kind of the fun and the high energy from Strangers Only, and then with the like melodic sort of depth from Unreal. So hopefully that's what we can achieve. Yeah. Already playing the music video. Sometimes, man, that's just how my brain thinks a little bit. Worried you guys weren't a band anymore? I don't blame you, because we took a hiatus and never really posted that much about it, and just kind of like faded off into the background. We were at that stage in our lives, I think, where people just had to. We all had our own journey, our own path to kind of like find ourselves outside of the band. You know, when you're late 20s and, you know, you start getting serious about jobs and girlfriends and stuff, the idea of, you know, touring around and sleeping in a van, it can't last forever. Or at least it couldn't for us. You know what I mean? You kind of either hit that threshold where this can be your one true job and support yourself, versus you kind of have to be like, all right, shit, you know, have to think about, you know, real world responsibilities and all that sort of stuff. So we kind of, everyone went their separate ways to do that. But now it feels like people are able to come back to it now, you know, and come back to it for fun and for the genuine love of it, and not because we feel any sort of obligation to make a record. You know, there's no label, there's no contracts, there's no nothing. It's just, you know, we still got stuff we want to say and songs we want to write. So I think hopefully it will come out the best because of that. Do a live performance on stream sometime with the band. That would be cool. I don't. That would be cool. That'd be harder to do with MTH, but Nick and I for Head Cave have definitely talked about doing that, of doing some live sort of like in studio performances. I've seen a lot of bands do those, and I think that they're really, really cool. And you know, it's just something we can do easier than having to try to get a whole band together, get other musicians, get a show booked, you know, all these different things versus like, you know, let's just throw down some performances and record it and let people experience it that way, because you'll reach more people that way too, which is, it's not the same obviously because shows are awesome, but that would be something cool to do as well. So, all right, everyone. Well, it is almost 7:30 my time. So, thank you all very much for watching and hanging out. And I'm gonna comp this song this weekend. You know, where I'll go through and edit some of the vocals, and maybe we'll do some more tracking now that you know, we've kind of done one. It's not so bad. I think it went okay. So yeah, I'll post again. Maybe I'll do the editing of this one on stream, and we can do figure out, you know, the layers and finding the good takes and see if we want to add any more vocals to this guy. So yeah, thank you all very much, and really, really appreciate you being here. And yeah, man, subscribe and follow all that cliche stuff. And I'll do another post letting you guys know when we're gonna edit this one. So yeah, man, hope you all have a great Friday, and we'll talk soon. So peace.